Asato Ma Gamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Amrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Gamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Gamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Gamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Gamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Gamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Gamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Gamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Gamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Gamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya
Hello, hello. It is Tuesday at 5:55, which means that we are gathering and we are, coming together virtually. Whether you are with me live or you're watching this later, we are coming into this energy field that I am holding here on Tuesdays, together with you and with all the beings who gather and hang out and whisper and share awesome information. As we step into the space, the words of the chant, the Asato Ma Prayer by Alicia Mathewson, are beautiful. Lead me, guide me from, let's see, we'll do darkness. I always mix them up. From darkness into light. Lead me, guide me from untruth into truth. And lead me, guide me from death to immortality. It is a foundational prayer calling in of all that is in alignment with that when we step into the space. And each time I sit and I close my eyes and I chant and I call in all of that support, all of that clarity, that love, my heart is full. It is such a sacred phrasing that we are tuning into when we do the Asato Ma Prayer. So, in those times when you're not quite sure if you're being told the truth, or you're not quite sure if someone is in their integrity, or if someone is transitioning and you want to guide them into the next realm, these are beautiful words that you can call on. You can go to Alicia Mathewson's site and download the song, or go to Spotify, YouTube, and then chant along with her. These are powerful words. So we arrive here. We all arrive here a little like, whoa. that was quite a weekend of astrological shifts and moon dancing. There was a lot moving. We had, I'm sure you already know this, but just to recap, we had a full moon in Leo last night, and the night before we had a full lunar eclipse, which is absolutely incredible if you're ever able to watch, or if you've been able to see the pictures. I was inside and one of my friends was buzzing like, you gotta see. And a friend of hers with a really inexpensive camera was getting these incredible images. So of course I'm thinking my little iPhone 6 is gonna get it. Nope, it did not. iPhone 5 or 6, I forget what I have. It's an older version. And so I ran outside with all my bundled up layers because it's so cold, and I could see it beautifully, but it didn't translate very clearly on the camera. But you could see the shadow moving across the moon. It was so incredible. It was so incredible. And then you can feel the effects of that, just like if you imagine the ocean is used to always having the moon guiding those tides, and so there's an ebb and a flow that's very natural. And if all of a sudden the moon was just gone, the water wouldn't know what to do. So it's the same for us with our emotions. There's a full moon in the sky, and it's not like a cloud comes in front of it. It's like a total eclipse. And so our bodies feel what's happened, what's going on. And to move from the lunar eclipse right into full moon in Leo. Leo is about be as bright as you can be. Express yourself out to the world and be the fullest version of yourself. Like I was just saying to a friend, it's like the courage, the lion of Leo. Just roar who you are. And so a full moon in Leo is like, look at me, see me. And to go from the lunar eclipse to that, it's quite a range of emotional shifting and energy moving. And for our bodies that mostly are made up of water, we feel the moon. Our emotions feel what is happening as the moon is going through her cycles, as she goes through the phases in the month. And so when we have a disruption or such an extreme contrast in such a short amount of time, it would be like going from a new moon to a full moon in 3 hours or in 20 hours. It's radically quick to shift along with her. And so we can be feeling that in our bodies. And add to that the combined effect of lots of people talking about freedom and peace on Martin Luther King Day here in the United States. There's a national, sometimes I believe even global, depending on where you live in the world and how much attention is put on his legacy. But there certainly is an immense focus on conversation about topics like freedom and justice and equality and expression of truth and taking a stand. You know, these are all very Leo qualities, like being visible in the things that you are here to claim, and then to fight, to be the lion like Martin Luther King was, to be the lion and take a stand for something with such ferocity. You know, all of that energy, when millions of people are pausing their regular routines of work and having a day off, and Facebook and Twitter and MSN and, you know, all the channels are filled with quotes and stories and pictures and images and video clips. All of that is energy being put, spotlighted on a movement, but that's not even the right word. It's a vibration, a really strong resonance of truth and freedom. And when we're all putting our attention on that, right after a lunar eclipse, right before a full moon in Leo, wow, it's a lot. It's a lot. And yeah, so you may be having a really easy transition through it, and it's like, yes, everything's great, and you're just flowing right along. Or you might be like me, you're like, major hangover today, like, whoa, that was a lot of energy and my body is tired. And I can tell I've been, I mean, me and full moons are not great friends anyway, but I can tell I've been really tired and moving slowly. And also there is an activation from all of that shifting. You know, I'm speaking what I want. I'm, you know, and sometimes in messages or emails, you can kind of pull back just a little bit to give someone else more of the power or the decision making. And what I found today is I'm like, like, no, this is the thing. This is what I want. This is what I need. There's more of a clarity in stating, like, this is how I want to experience my moment right now. And so if I'm feeling it, I can only imagine others are feeling it too. And so perhaps, you know, when we name the shifts we're going through, the emotions we're feeling, and we bring them out into the light, which is what the full moons are all about, then others who feel the same things but are afraid to say that they feel those things can be validated. Like, you're not crazy, you're not mean, you're not grumpy, you're just moving with the energy of the full moon. And it's a lot right now. Not that gives us a free pass to be rude. I'm not saying it that way. But when our regular behaviors start to shift a little bit, we can judge ourselves more harshly than the people around us are judging us. And so perhaps this video is simply to say, it's okay. It's okay. You're allowed to change a little. You're allowed to have some days where your emotions are moving right along with the moon, which is all over the place right now. It's okay. Yeah, so full moon, lunar eclipse. Okay, let's just add to that. By the way, I'm looking, I can tell I have no mascara on today because my eyes are too tired. And I don't know if I'm going to cry because full moons, often I have my Kleenex in case I need them. So I'm looking a little like, as I look in the camera. Oh well. What was I going to say about that? Oh, add to that the fact that it's Aquarius right now. We have moved into the sign of Aquarius. And Aquarians are usually like, oh well, take me or leave me. I don't know. Not quite. I mean, we like to be liked, and we certainly, as much as we like our alone time, we like to be engaged in the conversations of what's happening and talk to people about ideas. And, you know, we like to be in the middle of things. So we want to be part of community. This is a very general statement from me, who is an Aquarian sun and Aquarian moon. I'm a little like over the top Aquarius. But we like to be a part of things. We don't want to be separated from them. And yet, yeah, it's the I don't even know what I was going to say about that. We like to be a part of things. This moon. So as we shift into Aquarius, the Aquarius as a general sign is very much about visions and leadership and seeing beyond the realms and understanding the duality. You know, that there is this universal field that connects all of us, and there's this human way that we are walking in this life, and that we're bringing things forward and sharing what we see and know of the universe here in the human realm. So it can be a little much for us just to be in the sign of Aquarius, which is the same for every sign. We all have our contrasts. But as we add this full moon and this lunar eclipse right at the beginning of moving into Aquarius, it's even more intense. It's even more felt, you know, I believe by everyone, but especially by those in the sign of Aquarius. So how it's playing out for me, I guess I'll say that, how it's playing out for me. Well, I just completed the movement that I started. It's not right. I completed the space I've been holding for the I Am Here Now Gaia movement. And I knew I wanted to start it on a new moon and end it on a full moon. And it was the first one of the new year. So I knew at the beginning of it that it would be the space I would be holding would be completing on the full moon. But I was just moving through the 17 days without, I mean, I could feel I was holding a lot, but I was just kind of moving through it. And yesterday, when I knew it was coming to an end, the role I play as the driver of it, you know, surrendering it now over to the sun, the moon, the earth, humanity, other people who will continue leading it. As I was handing it over, it was like I could feel how much it had been anchoring me, or how much of my attention and my energy I had been giving to that movement. Whether it took a lot of time during the day or not, there was this focus that I had from my heart and my soul on talking about it and feeling it and sharing it and expressing it and guiding it. And that focus took a lot of my resources, my energy, my sleep, my thoughts. And as I was completing that yesterday, knowing I would be handing it over, and then waking up today, that's as much a part of the hangover for me. It's like, wow, that was a lot. That was a lot to hold space for, you know, with everything else that goes on in our days. And so I named that because many people hold space for others, and we don't always realize that we are doing that. Not just empaths. I know empaths are given that definition. I believe we all do that for each other at various levels. And when someone is moving through a lot and we are holding space for them, we are thinking about them and sending them our love, and you know, energetically just connecting with them so that they feel supported, we're draining a lot of our own resources towards that person or that relationship or that movement or that job or that whatever it is that is showing up for you. As you watch this, you'll know what it is for you. We're draining a lot of our own chi, our own energy into that other person or that other thing, and we don't realize it. It's like the lobster boiling in a pot of hot water. You know, they say you're supposed to put the lobster, this is a terrible description, but you put the lobster in the cold water and turn the heat up slowly, and the water gets warmer, and the lobster doesn't realize that it's getting warmer. For me, I had a great description from a counselor years and years ago, and she said, you know, when you're in a relationship and things are building and you're getting frustrated and you're not feeling like your needs are being met, or you're taking someone else's junk. She's like, it's like you're just filling up, and you're filling up, and you don't even realize that you're filling up. You don't even realize. She's like, and then eventually it's like a pot that's boiling with the lid on top. You know, the lid's starting to bubble and move, and then all of a sudden the lid just like blows off and you erupt. And the person around you will say, well, what was wrong? You never said anything. I didn't even know you were upset. And it's because you've been building all of this for so long, and you haven't been connecting enough to share that, or trusting yourself enough to communicate that. And so you erupt and people think you're crazy, or you've lost your mind, or you have a midlife crisis, or, you know, whatever the definitions are that you give it or other people give it. It's because we just keep accumulating. We keep shoving down or pushing down whatever it is that wants to move through us. It's the same for when we hold space for someone else. We don't always realize how much energy and attention it's taking until suddenly we don't have to do it anymore. And then we fall apart. We collapse. You know, our systems shut down because we're so drained in what we have been doing for others. So I name that because I have just been going through that, holding this movement, and I can feel how much it's taken out of me. So today I have been moving pretty slowly and not pushing myself to get a whole bunch done, and just really, you know, trusting what I needed to do and listening to music that soothes my nerves. And I laid down for a half hour before I went to get my son from school and just closed my eyes. You know, sometimes we just need that pause to collect our energy, to come back into ourselves, and then feel what's needed next. Maybe it's more rest, maybe it's a good meal. For me, it's not cooking. I'm not going to make dinner later. And just picking up food. I don't have to cook, which is awesome. You know, it's just allowing yourself to be supported, or to be allowing yourself to be gentle with yourself as you move through whatever the shifts are. So let's recap. Lunar eclipse, full moon, moving into Aquarius, which I'm just going to talk about myself because that's what we're going to do right now. For me, moving into Aquarius, which is my sun and my moon sign. So hello, Aquarian energy, and just completing this movement. I keep saying that, completing my space holding in the way I've done it for this movement. The movement is not completing. The movement is just starting to take off. And so you can see how we have this mixing of all of these different shifts that are happening, but they all combine and sort of hit at one time. So we breathe. We breathe. And for me, it means I meditate. You know, I do my yoga tomorrow, and I journal, and I create the podcast, which for me is always a clearing. I do those things that are settling to my system, that let me come back and get recentered, get refocused, instead of charging forward into something else. Yeah, and then this weekend is my birthday, so I have a couple people that are coming to town, a couple friends, and my family will be here, and so it's just going to be this really just quiet, sweet time of just being with a few of the people I love. And that for me is soothing to my system. You know, the snuggling up on a couch and watching a movie, or you know, just like laughing and chilling together. It just feels good. And especially for me, like having my children around and my husband, you know, it's important to have that cocoon on my birthday. So yeah, it's all doable. It's all doable. So that said, what I have been feeling, my nose, what I have been feeling since the Sunday call. I did the Sunday meditation, and this beautiful energy always flows through. And what was coming through that day was connected to this, you know, the whole shift of what's happening energetically on our planet. On Sunday, as I was recording it, we were moving into the lunar eclipse that night, and then the full moon within 24 hours. And so I was describing within that 24-hour window, you know, all the contrast that we are experiencing, and then how to integrate that in the body, and how to align the energy to really harness all of that power and bring it into the human experience and land it here in this lifetime. And that theme has continued over the last couple of days. The song that I'm going to read the lyrics to at the end is called Have It All. You can have it all. And that really feels like what this full moon lunar eclipse switch into Aquarius, everything that's happening, it is this, I guess I would describe it like this. It's like all is becoming possible. Whatever you want, here it is. It feels like that to me. Like the energies of all the stars and the planets that are around us, all of the beings of light that I know sit around this planet and protect the energy field of Earth. All of the souls in human bodies, the light beings in human bodies who are walking around this planet, we are all being upgraded to this energy level where we can create what it is that we want. But first, we've got to get really clear on what that actually is. And so many of us don't really know. Or we think we want a little something, but we're certainly not going to talk about how we want a lot of something. Because if we talk about a lot of something, we're, whatever the words are, too greedy, too egoic, too self-centered, too selfish. I mean, we come up with all these different words. And I think much of this comes from when we were little, because often I believe many of us were told, like, you're too big for yourself, or, you know, a lot of those old phrases. I don't even want to bring those in. But as this full moon has brought in illumination, which is what full moons do, lighting it up, showing what's possible, bringing up all the places where you're not in alignment with Leo, this energy of being who you are, being visible, right? Leos are like the old pharaohs of Egypt. They are the ones who just do it. They live these beautiful, exuberant, exotic lives, or they can. And so here we are being offered that sort of platform. What is it that you want to be and do? What is that? And so this full moon shines a light on it. And then the lunar eclipse is this like wiping away of whatever's in the way of you having that. So clearing it out. And now it's about how bold do you want to be? How bold can you be? Are you willing to say those things that you want? In order to have it all, you have to first clarify what all is for you. And then you have to start asking for it, claiming it, creating it. You have to actually do something to move yourself into alignment with having it all. So what is that, right? What is that? What I believe is quite a bit of the shift that is happening this year on our planet is about integrity and transparency. You know, each of us, wherever we are, whatever space we're in, whether that's with our family or at work or in schools or at grocery stores or driving on the road or laying on the beach on vacation, wherever we are the same person. We act the same, we talk the same, we project our energy the same, we receive other people's energy the same way. We are transparent in all places. You would know who, I'll use myself as an example, you would know who I am in all of those places, because I'm going to be the same wherever I show up. The things I talk about will be similar, perhaps the different levels of sharing, but yeah, similar topics. And as we are working on that transparency, it comes from being in full integrity with ourselves. So wherever we're not in integrity is going to really show itself up very quickly. And maybe it already has for you, but it's going to show up even faster if it hasn't. And so the places where we're not being true to ourselves, true to our calling, our soul's purpose, true to claiming what we want, wherever we're not that, it's going to show itself very quickly. And then our opportunity is be transparent, start speaking your truth, start asking, for what that is that you want. And it takes a lot of that Leo courage to do that. A lot of Leo courage, because what we have known is very familiar, and what we are moving towards is very unknown. And the unknown is often scary, kind of dark out there. We don't know. We don't know what's in the unknown void. So we'd rather avoid it, be over here and stay where it feels comfortable. But that's not what this year is about. This year is about change and courage and having everything you want. So to get from where you are to everything you want, it takes this opening, takes this stretching out. And what if that whole journey is amazing and fun? What if it's playful and it doesn't hurt? That would be cool. So you can be very intentional about how you start to become more transparent in all of the places where you go. You can be more intentional about how it's easy to do that, how it's easy to speak your mind and to share your truth, how it's easy to be woo-woo or weird or empathic or sensitive or whatever words you want to use. It's easy to do that, and you can do it with grace. And people can receive you with grace and kindness, because underneath their shells, they're kind of woo-woo and weird and crazy too. So we all start doing that. Yeah, what if the entire planet is made up of woo-woo people? We just don't know, because we're all acting like we're in a box. That would be fun, wouldn't it? A planet of woos. I'm really freaking some people out. The other thing that feels important to share, and I feel like I live this as part of my transparency. I'll be vulnerable here again. As part of my own transparency, I feel like I do this pretty well, but maybe there's room for more improvement. I had a friend reflect to me. She said, I was in some gunk, not feeling good. And she said, I was thinking of how do I want to feel? If I don't feel this way, how do I want to feel? And she said, I was sitting there just going, I just want to feel happy. I want to feel like genuinely happy. And she said, you were who I thought of. And I was touched, right? Like I'm so glad, because I do feel very genuinely happy. Like that is my natural nature. And also, I'm not always that way, as my family would very quickly tell you. I'm not always that way. Sometimes I get really tired. And when I'm really tired, I'm very cranky. And when I don't eat on a regular schedule, my husband will tell you, I'm nasty. Like, I'm not nice when I'm hungry, because my body wants food and it wants it now. And so so we're not always all on all the time. And I believe that's part of being a human. You reach your own limitations of how much you are willing to share, or how vulnerable you want to be, or how much you can be in joy and bliss. Like at some point we're like, oh, I need to take a break for a moment. I need to lay down and take a nap, or I need to go cry just to move the energy out and to feel whatever's moving through. We are all of that. We're all messy and real, and sometimes blissed out, and sometimes pissed off, and sometimes miserably sad. That's the point of the human journey. We are all of that. And I believe I share that pretty well in the spaces where I share what's going on in my life, in the podcast and here and on the Sunday calls. I'm not all sunshines and butterflies, or whatever the words are. I've had a lot of that projected at me. You're too fake, or you can't be that nice, or you're too sweet, or I am who I am. Take me or don't. Like, I am who I am. And some days I'm going to be giggly and having a great time, and other days I'm going to be pissed off, and sometimes I'm just going to cry. And all of that is me. All of that is me. What I offer is a reflection about genuine happiness, really being feeling joy and happiness, which is true for me. I feel that genuine love for my life and for being here in this human body and for the infinite soul that I am and for all the abundance and the beauty that exists in my life. I am genuinely in love with my life. And that comes from this contrast of when I have been genuinely wickedly sad and depressed and hurt, when there has been immense pain and suffering in my life. I have the full range from feeling all that I have felt, knowing I can find my way in any moment back to feeling this content, this happy. It's the spectrum of all of those emotions. I believe the happiest people often are the ones who have gone through some of the darkest moments in their lives. And so they choose happiness because they know what the contrast emotion is. They know what it feels like to sit in suffering. And so they choose to be happy. They choose to find the joy in the moment. They choose to find love instead of wallowing in the fear because they know what it feels like to have wallowed in the fear. They can hold both. And that's what I believe, that's what allows that woman, my friend, to say to me, and that's why I reached out to you. She knows I'm genuinely happy, and she can sit in her pain with me and know that I understand, and that I see how she will eventually find her way to joy also. And so I can offer guidance and love and support and cheerleading. So don't always be fooled, by the impressions that people show in who they are. Close your eyes sometimes when you're listening to people speaking, or when you're watching videos like this or listening to podcasts. Close your eyes and feel in your heart the resonance of the person's voice, the vibration of their heart, of their soul. You can feel that. It's sound is through the voice, it's a vibration. So when you shut out all the peripheral stuff, the extra stuff with your eyes and, everything else, when you shut it down and you listen, you feel with your heart, you will know the truth of the person who you are listening to or who you're in space with. You'll feel it. And then, allow yourself to learn from those who resonate with the feelings you have, the truth you hold. And then just follow that path. I believe there are going to be lots of people falling off of pedestals. I talked about this in a podcast, I think last week. Lots of people falling off of the pedestals they have put themselves on or others have put them on. As we are in this full moon in Leo, it's very much about people who take a big stage. And those who are not in integrity, not in alignment with themselves, they won't be able to hold that pedestal any longer. So you trusting your heart, listening from your heart, feeling vibration through sound, you'll know who to follow and who to not follow. You'll know who to follow is not even the right word. You'll know who to trust in messages that are coming across versus those you can't trust. And so let yourself, be guided that way. And use your voice. Share your expression when you're in integrity and you're feeling your own resonance of truth. Share it. Talk about it. Express it to the world. Let others find you. Yeah. Okay. I think that's it. It feels complete. So I'm going to read you the beautiful lyrics from Have It All by Jason Mraz, who a beautiful friend of mine introduced me to, and I just love Jason Mraz's music. It's so upbeat and so storytelling and wise, and I've quoted many of his songs here in this space. So this is called Have It All by Jason Mraz. May you have auspiciousness and causes of success. May you have the confidence to always do your best. May you take no effort in your being generous, sharing what you can, nothing more, nothing less. May you know the meaning of the word happiness. May you always lead from the beating of your chest. May you be treated like an esteemed guest. May you get to rest. May you catch your breath. And may the best of your todays be the worst of your tomorrows. And may the road less paved be the road that you follow. Well, here's to the hearts that you're going to break. Here's to the lives that you're going to change. Here's to the infinite possible ways to love you. I want you to have it. Here's to the good times we're going to have. You don't need money. You've got a free pass. Here's to the fact that I'll be sad without you. I want you to have it all. Oh, I want you to have it all. I want you to have it all. May you be as fascinating as a slap bracelet. May you keep the chaos and the clutter off your desk. May you have unquestionable health and less stress, having no possessions, though immeasurable wealth. May you get a gold star on your next test. May your educated guesses always be correct. And may you win prizes shining like diamonds. May you really own it, each moment to the next. And may the best of your todays be the worst of your tomorrows. And may the road less paved be the road that you follow. And then at the very end, he says, go, go, go. Raise your glasses. Go, go, go. You can have it all. I toast you. Jason Mraz, check it out after you get done watching the video. So, so good. Okay. I will see you next week when I am 48 years old. So much love. Mwah.